by here. Today we're going to be working on a landscape inspired picture by the artist Heather Galler. Heather Galler is an artist that plays around with bright, cheerful colors, and she works in a style of art called folk art. Folk art is a cultural community type of art, showing the community. This may be a farmer growing all the crops in the field, and then maybe even apples on the tree where they're able to help their community and give back, and it shows the country landscape. We're going to be working with crayon resist and watercolor to be working on our line, designs, and patterns. All right, let's get started. Today we're going to be working on a folk art landscape. This one is inspired by an artist named Heather Galler. Heather Galler uses mixed media to create bright and colorful and cheerful folk art paintings. Folk art is a type of art that talks about the cultural life of a community. For example, in this picture, you're looking at a farm, and this farm probably helps to feed the community with crops and things that they grow, or maybe the apples on their tree. So we're going to start with our landscape. Now your paper can go tall like I have, or you can also turn and have your paper go sideways if you want to for a horizontal landscape. This one is going tall or vertical. So to start our landscape, I'm going to start drawing in Sharpies that you can see my lines. It's up to you which direction you want your paper to go, but I'm going to start by adding a horizon line. So horizon line is the line that separates the ground from the sky space. If you can see, this one goes in kind of a V shape. Maybe you want your line straight across. So this time I'm going to have a line go straight across, kind of about the middle of my paper. Maybe it's kind of at an angle. From there, now I want to think about, do I have trees? Do I have a setting sun? That's really up to you. Maybe you don't want to add the setting sun like you have, like in this one. That could be up to you. I might just start with my trees. Now her trees are usually 2 lines. I draw my first line, and then I can use my finger if I want to draw a second line. And then maybe I have a big round tree top. This one goes all the way up. So then your next tree, there's going to be another one next to it. There's one here. Now this tree is going to be under this tree. That's called underlapping. If I put something over it, it would be overlapping. So I have to start at the tree, hit the tree trunks, and then stop when I hit the tree again. So you can see it goes behind the tree in the front. And then maybe I have another tall tree here. This one's going to be kind of a skinny tall tree. And then you can put some sort of barn or a house. That's up to you. I'm going to draw a house in this picture. I'm going to start with 2 lines. Pretty big lines. I can fit about 4 fingers inside of that space. From there then, I'm going to draw a line across the top. And now I have made myself a rectangle shape. I have made a shape. Now I'm going to think about the roof. What shape could I use for a roof on a house? A triangle? Yes, I can use a triangle. And then if I want to, I can bring some lines going off the paper to show the side of the house, which I'm going to do. Start at the triangle and draw a line out. Start at the bottom of the triangle and draw a line out. Now you can see the roof goes across, and here's the side of the house. So now you can add windows, doors, any sort of detail you want to have. So maybe I have a round door in the front with a window. Maybe a doorknob. Maybe I have a window here. And maybe I have a window here. My windows are rectangles. I'm going to add a half circle on top. That can give me a window, and I can even start and add some pieces that look like that hold the glass together. And then maybe there's windows on the side of the house. Maybe I want a line. Maybe I want a pattern here. Maybe I have a rectangle here and a rectangle here. I can even add curtains in the house if I want to. Looks like a letter K. Do you see the letter K? From there, we can start deciding, maybe you want shingles on your roof and you want to add some wavy lines. Maybe my trees have designs in them. This one has a line that goes up and lines that come off like a leaf. Maybe the one next to it has swirls. And I can do some swirls in that tree. Maybe this one has big flowers. You want to keep everything very large as you're drawing, because if you don't, it's hard to color in. Maybe one more. I am pretty happy with those trees. So once I get my trees, now I'm going to go ahead and, as you can see on this one, I am going to start working by breaking the lines into sections. So I'm going to start breaking my lines down my hills. And I think I'm gonna do an extra line here, and maybe I'll do a zigzag, maybe to show the grass in my picture. And then now I can draw lines coming at me. So in each of your lines, we're gonna start by putting in some Sharpie patterns. Maybe I want some diagonal lines. Maybe this one has straight lines. Maybe this one doesn't have anything. I can leave one plain if I want to. Maybe this one has a wavy line. Only a couple. I have about 3 lines in each box. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So once I get my drawing outlined, and we're gonna draw on a pencil, then outline in Sharpie, and then we're gonna talk about coloring. So to color a picture, we're gonna be using crayon, and then we're gonna be painting over the top of the crayon. As you can see here, I did crayon work, and then when I paint over it, the paint does not stick to the crayon because the crayon is made of wax, and it rolls off, and I get these really fun patterns showing through my crayon, through my paint. So I'm gonna take crayon and start working on adding some designs. Now, just like we did in our Pete the Cat project, we're gonna add scribble to our trees. So using a color, we're gonna scribble, and I'm using fall colors. I'm not coloring in, I'm going in circles and scribbling. Then maybe I'll have an orange tree. And I'm just gonna kind of scribble inside my tree with circles. Go in circles, don't color in, make sure you have white space. And then I can color my flowers if I want, or I could just add stripes. The key to this working, or the secret, is to make sure you push really hard. Push really, really hard when you add your patterns. So maybe I want to actually color these in. Once I've colored at my house and added some pattern, and an added pattern on my trees, like stripes or squiggles like we did in our treetops, now on the ground, we're gonna be using different types of line. So we have a squiggly or loopy line, we have a zigzag line, we have some straight lines, I have some circles or polka dots for pattern, here I have some straight lines, and then here I have crossing lines. They're called crosshatch. So you're gonna add different types of lines or designs at the bottom. Make sure you're pushing hard. And then the last thing we're going to do is add a pattern in our sky. I just did polka dots, so you can choose a yellow or an orange and make polka dots in your sky. Once I have all my design done, now I'm ready to paint. So I'm gonna be painting with my watercolors, and I wanna think about painting. So when I paint, I don't wanna use the same color. For example, this red crayon, I don't wanna use a red or an orange crayon. That's too much the same. So you have to pick a different color. Maybe a blue, maybe a green, maybe a purple. If you have green crayon, don't use greens. Pick something different, maybe a red or an orange. And same thing goes for yellows. If you have a yellow, don't pick a yellow, pick a different color. So now I'm gonna get my brush wet, and I'm gonna pick my first color. I'm gonna start in this green space here. I'm gonna pick something that's not a green. So I'm gonna go with more of a red, something completely different. And you're gonna start painting over your crayon lines. Each space will get painted in. And you'll also paint the sky. Have fun painting. Just a reminder, when you use paint and you are switching colors, you want to take your cup, hold it, and tap your brush in the bottom of the cup and wipe before you move to a new color to get all the color out. So tap it on the bottom, wipe, and you're ready to switch colors. now we're going to let that dry, and that is our Heather Galler folk art landscape. I hope you had fun. Can't wait to see what yours looks like.